So try harder. Going through the PWK material, getting your OSCP, you hear try harder, and it sounds like it's a smug response. These are people that got their OSCP and they're sitting up high on their high and mighty horse, and they're saying, "Hey, try harder to get on my level. I don't have time to help peasants." That's how it feels. And that's how it felt a long time for me until I read an article about a 16-year-old kid who got the OSCP, and the wisdom of this kid just was off the charts. So in no certain terms, because I don't remember exactly what he said, but the when he explained what it meant to him, the gist of it was, given enough time and attention, you can accomplish anything, especially in this realm. And I read this before I took the OSCP for the second time. And when I heard that, a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, okay, well, let's break down the exam so that it makes perfect sense for me. And I went for the 10-point box, and I took that mentality. I took the try harder mentality according to this kid, where he said, given enough time and attention, I should be able to accomplish this. And so I didn't go anywhere. I didn't scan any other box or do anything until I got the 10-pointer, which was pretty easy. And then I did the same thing with the first 20-pointer and then the second 20-pointer, and then my buffer overflow. So I didn't deviate from the plan at all. I said I would get initial access, privest, move on. Initial access, privest, and move on. And that was just the beginning of my try harder journey. Now you probably heard of setting goals, and what gets measured gets managed, and those concepts for success. I took this to the next level, and I said that I would average no less than 60 minutes per active box on HackerBox until I got it. And at the 1,000-minute mark, right now on this box, I am at 717. At the 1,000-minute mark, and that's about roughly 16 hours, I would reevaluate and see if the box was worth pulling any additional information, any learning information. And if so, I would push on, like drive on to 24 hours. And that's my strategy for trying harder. And you can take the time based approach, but after a while, what you'll notice is your time that you put in to this hack the box, to this try harder mentality, you'll see that your time quality goes down because you'll be just staring all day at an nmap scan, or staring all day at HTML source code, or whatever the case. And again, that's not quality time if there's no recon actions, there's no articles read, you're not using tools, you're not reviewing code, you're not learning lessons. So that's why I added all of these in my try hard philosophy as well, so that if I attack an active box and I don't get anywhere, or I'm stuck, I have wins that I can go back and look at. So this was actually last night. I performed 3 recon actions. I read 1 article. As you see, I used these tools, and then I didn't review any code because I couldn't find any on the web server. But I learned 2 lessons. I put 180 minutes. I went over that, I can tell you right now, but I kind of stopped recording at 180, or recording my time. And then I got the positives over here. So I'll just go over the positives. First of all, there's no spoilers. Even though I am talking about an active box, there's no spoilers because I haven't gotten anywhere. So relax. But the positives in this box is it forced me to build new VMs. So a lot of times, we'll download a VM and say, this is my weapon. This is the only thing that I'm going to use. But over time, what you'll notice is certain distros may or may not let you do things that you need to do. Case in point, my parent instance wouldn't let me download what I needed to analyze an APK file. I don't know why. For whatever reason, it just would not work. And so I went to Ubuntu and did the whole thing, and it worked for me. And so I think when you are more flexible, not only does that give you more ways to attack the box, but that gives you more of a lessons, like learn lessons when it comes to installing tools and such. And then I'm taking apart everything because I'm stuck. I'm taking apart everything about any kind of headers, any kind of GET requests, any kind of responses, and looking up the meaning of it. Why is it there? And we'll get to e-tags in a minute, but also relevant books. So I felt that at the time that advanced web development in Python with Django was the correct way to go, given my current setup. So that's it. So if this is a start. I plan for this type of this try hard type of approach here. I plan for this to get a lot more complex so that I can further granularize my approach, further granularize what I'm getting from my time, if anything is worth my time, and such. So I plan for this to grow tremendously as I continue to on this try hard journey. And another thing that I learned is sometimes we can watch IPSec, or sometimes we can watch a pen tester that we're a fan of. Maybe you're partial to John Hammond or anyone else, that's fine. But we can try to be them, and that's not the way to go. It was sometime later that I found out except for easier boxes, IPSec will do the box first and then find out everything he can about the box, and then he'll do it live. So when he's going through it, he looks like a god. He looks like Jesus walking on water, when in reality he's already put in the time and the effort into the box. I just think that it's super amazing that he can still stumble over and then still get lessons learned even after having done the box. But that's beside the point. The point is, you see the finished product of IPSec once he releases a video, but you don't see the grind. You don't see when he's like, man, what do I do here? Man, I gotta reach out to my buddy and see what he did here. Or I need to, once I'm finished with the box, I need to reach out to the maker of the box and see if I missed anything. You don't see that part. You don't see that part of his learning, and that's important because I think that embodies the try harder mentality as well, because not only is he getting it out the mud, like he's getting it the hardest way possible because the obstacle is the way, but then he's reaching out, and sometimes that's uncomfortable for a lot of us that are in security, being introverts. He's reaching out to see if there's anything he missed, not only getting additional information, but making those connections and networking so that more and more people know his name, more and more people can support him in this thing, and then people reach out to him as well, and then he's a consultant for him, and it's a back and forth, beautiful relationship every time he reaches out to a box owner. And of course, now he works for Hack the Box. Getting off subject there, but I'm saying that the whole approach, the behind the scenes stuff, the late nights, you maybe got off of work at 6 o'clock, and then from 7 to 4 in the morning, you worked on an easy box, and you're thinking, man, I'm so dumb. But in reality, you are honing your recon skills to the point to where you're insane mode, and that shows up when you go to work the next day. So that's pretty much it for my try harder vlog. I just wanted you guys to know that it's not about instant gratification. When my team, some guys on my team got together and we started going after this Hack the Box thing, a lot of people wanted to look at the website and then go straight to Metasploit and then find the module or find the exploit, put the stuff in and then get root and be happy. That's how they thought it worked. And it turns out that, it's not really designed like that. You got to do a lot more work. And a lot of people fell off. Like a lot of people, it started off about 6 people wanting to do this thing. And when they realized that it takes more work than using Metasploit, I think 8 of us dropped off, and it was just me and this other guy. And we just kept going. And to this day, we both have our OSCP and the rest of them don't. I think one of the guys quit our job. So it's like the try harder mentality, that approach to life, that applies to the workplace as well, because, if you try harder here when nobody else is looking, you're going to try harder when people are looking, and you're just going to end up being a man there. So I'm doing the box again. Just like I said earlier, I'm doing the box of router space. I don't want to get too deep into what I'm doing because this is an active box, and I really want to stay on good terms with the Hack the Box community and such. But I just want to talk about my enumeration and my recon for a second. I didn't find anything special, so again, don't worry about spoilers because you won't get them here. One of the things about trying harder is if you watch the IPSec video and you're really a big fan of IPSec, you'll notice that he runs a script scan of the ports he found. Like, I know I found 80 and 22, don't judge me there. But he'll do a script scan of all of the ports he found, and then he'll move straight into finding the exploit. And I think what you have to understand, especially if you want a certification out of this, is that you need to be thorough ahead of time with your scans. So just because other people do it does not mean that you have to do it like that. Meaning, get your UDP scans in, get your SYN scans in, always do a -p-. Don't get lazy, don't get quick. This whole thing, hacking, penetration testing, whatever we're calling it, it's not a field where you want to cut corners and try to do it the quickest way possible. You want to do it the most thorough way possible. So again, not only do you do your full Nmap scan with your scripts, do a -p-, so all 6,500 and what is it, 65535, 65,535 ports, and then do the same thing for your UDP ports. And if you get closed, or if it's feeling like you never see UDP ports, don't waver. Don't just say, oh, well, I never see UDP ports, so I'm not going to check it, and let it be like a whole year and you've never done a UDP scan. And the reason why I can say that is because I've been there. Like, always get your enumeration in, because, those good practices are what recon is. You want to get as much information as possible, and once you get the full extent of information, you want to understand as much as possible. So I think we all get what this means. But I had never seen this before, and it turns out that this box is using a content delivery I always get that wrong. Content distribution network. I don't know if it's simulated or not, but this number changes, which says to me that every time I access this website, it looks for the closest content distribution network node, if that's what they call it. And once it finds the closest, it can get the quickest download. So you do that to save on bandwidth. You do that to save on to increase your speed of your traffic. Because if you're hosting something way in Japan and you have to access it every day from Japan to yourself, it will work pretty good, but like over time, it's going to be like, man, I can make this faster. So you set up a CDN, maybe in, Nebraska, wherever you are. And so once you access that resource one time, it's already cached in your CDN, so that the next time you access that resource, it's quicker because the location is closer. So it's using some kind of technology like that. I haven't found a way to exploit it or get into it yet. or anything like that. So I mean, again, there's no spoilers here. I'm just telling you what this means. And then we should already know what these mean. If you don't, I mean, this is not the video for you. You should know what this means as well. This is not the video for you. If you're wondering what this is, just Google it. And then E tags. So I've seen E tags around, but I never looked into it until now. And this is basically a checksum that says, you know, this is the E tag of the page. And if there are any changes, this E tag will change. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. So yeah, like I just said, it's a checksum, and the E tag represents it's like a hash. You could think of it like a hash, but I wouldn't call it a hash, but you could see it as a hash in that it's the integrity checker for the content of the page. And it works similar to a CDN where even like if it hasn't changed, if the E tag hasn't changed, then it's going to serve you content straight out of the cache. And so this may or may not work with CDNs. This may work with your browser. I think from there, I'm just kind of lost in the sauce, but I know that's how it works. But if something does change on the page, then it's going to send you the newest of the new. So that's how that works. And again, it's meant to save on bandwidth because, again, if I don't have to download the entire 25,900 bytes, that's good. Maybe I need to only download, 1 byte that changed or whatever the case, or whatever. But if a lot of the content has changed, then it'll just send me the whole 25,900 bytes, if that makes sense. Again, it's always better if a web server doesn't have to send you the full page every single time, and that's where the E tags come in. That's pretty much the 2 biggest lessons learned that I got from this box. And I don't think that those are going to help me get into the box. If they can, please don't put any spoilers in the comments below. You can contact me at my email. I'm going to let you find my email. Or you can, keep it to yourself until I actually solve the box. That's pretty much it. I've been stumbling over. Oh, there's one more other thing. I don't know if I'm connected because this is the very next day from when I was, let's see. I don't know. So it says it's active. Oh, let me see. Something went wrong. Let me log in again. Log in again, folks. I don't see anything. There we go. At gmail.com. It's lagging behind a little bit. I'm gonna pause the video until I can log in. So yeah, I'm logged in now, and I wanted to show you one more thing, and I think it's still active. So yeah, I think I'm still good. I was using the Palm box for a long time, and I realized the Palm box is kind of trash for a lot of reasons. And I was like, you know what, let me go back to the VMs where I can control things, where I can use as much space as I want to, where I don't have to worry with other passwords. And it's just an overall better experience for me now working in this VM. That's not the point though. So we're going to ping just to make sure we're still good. We're going to ping this box really quick. And we're going to copy that and then paste that here. So ping, so that's awesome that it's good. So what we could do is we can go here, and I'll tell you about another technology. I think I just saw the page, as a matter of fact. And let me close all of this research. I would definitely, as you research what things are, save the references, save the URLs. Don't lose the URLs. Don't get sloppy. So this is the page. Again, there's no spoilers because, again, I haven't gotten anywhere. I'm just going to keep repeating that. So people say, oh, why are you posting an active box? Well, I'm not doing anything that you guys don't know how to do. But I do want to show you one thing. So this is the page. But if you did something like login.html. You get suspicious activity detected. And what I suspect is going on here is that most likely this is a web application firewall. It may be that it is custom, which I would say that it's probably easy to do, because in some kind of a reverse proxy, you'd put a rule in there that says, hey, and let's see if I can pull up a web reverse proxy configuration so I don't sound crazy. But in the rules, you can say, if I don't know if that's it. Nginx is probably best. If you, yeah, it'll look something like this. So if location is equal to that, then serve me the page. But if location is not equal to that, then put suspicious activity detected. That's what I suspect is in there. I hope that I didn't go over that too fast. But I think that's in the reverse proxy. I can't prove that there's a reverse proxy sitting in front of this thing. This may be that all of this is on the actual box. So, you never can tell. That's the beauty of having a reverse proxy, is that you don't really know how many machines you're going through to actually get to your web page. And it should be like that. Any indication that you're hitting additional boxes, like let's just say, for example, you're getting engine X, but then when you visit the web page, you're getting engine X for your if this says suspicious activity detected and it was engine X, but then when you got to your actual page, it was like Apache or something like that. That's like blatant indication that you're going through a reverse proxy. And in today's security, how today's security works is you don't want that. You definitely want to not see any type of banners, any type of version numbers, nothing. Like, you don't want to see any of that. So yeah, I hope I explained what a reverse proxy is. Basically, it's going to protects the web server. And not only that, but a reverse proxy can forward based on domain names. So you never expose your IP, whether that's public or private. You never expose any of that information, because the reverse proxy takes it in and says, oh, you're, I don't know, apps.google.com, you go this way. Or you are maps.google.com, you go this way. Or you are, let's think of another one, sheets.google.com, you go this way. And that's what reverse proxy is. You can kind of think of it as like the teacher that stands in the hallway and the kids come through and say, Miss Smith, I don't know where to go. Oh, you go this way, and you might think of like some creep outside or whatever that is looking in. And all he can do is he can see the actual school, and the school can be like the reverse proxy. But then once the kid goes in, all he knows is that the kid went in. But this is probably a bad example. My bad, bro. I'm trying to liven it up, but forget that example. But I think you get what I'm saying. I'm probably beating the dead horse. And then a proxy, on the other hand, and this may be a little bit out of scope of what we're talking about, but a proxy says, okay, I'm in the organization. I want to reach out to Google. Let me do that. I push enter, and then my request, before it goes out to Google, it hits a proxy, and that proxy can check to see if I'm going to a porn site or a gambling site, and it checks all of that off. And if I'm good to go, my IP address changes to the proxy's IP address, and that proxy goes and gets that web content for me. And then it responds to that proxy address, and then that proxy forwards it back to me. So I'm always protected from the outside world. And it's neat how it works. If you ever get a box like this on Hack the Box, you should set up the architecture as closely as possible. I haven't done it yet because I'm lazy, but probably eventually, like if I reach 1,000 minutes and I still haven't gotten into this box, I probably will go ahead and set up something that can do this. so that I could see how I would break my own thing, and then from there, I should be fine. I should be fine to move forward. So I think that's it. Let's see what I can get out of here. If I do run across any spoilers, I'm gonna review the video and I'm gonna take them out. But again, I don't think I've came across any spoilers just yet, and I don't intend to. I just want to show you some of my enumeration methods. I don't know why, but I've discovered, and if I can get like while I'm typing, I've discovered that it's still downloaded. I've discovered that Kali has become way more superior. I don't even need that because I already got it download. Kali has become superior to Parrot. At one point, it was the other way around, and there's no, in my opinion, no other reliable VM for pen testing than Kali, because to me, Kali had lost its appeal, especially when the Python packages started crashing, and when PowerShell Empire was all the hype and all the rage, and you couldn't install it on Kali without having a heart attack. Me and Kali parted ways, and I leaned toward I'm about to cat this thing, and I don't want to do that. Me and Kali parted ways, and I went toward what? What are you talking about? I went toward what are you talking about? Chamath? Okay. No, it's not type, it's file, right? Yeah. Anyway. So I started leaning toward Parrot, not only because it was new and it was fresh, but the things worked, and it just seemed like a lighter, cleaner interface. And I think they don't support, like, the creators of Parrot don't support it anymore for some reason. But I have a hard time installing any packages or anything like that. And Kali, on the other hand, is chugging right along, keeping up with things, and so that's why I went back to Kali. And I don't think I'm probably not gonna move for a while until I finally get my Ubuntu, like regular Ubuntu, together to where it has all of the packages that I need. And I'm probably gonna abandon Kali as well. But as you see, I just unzipped a APK file, and one thing we could do is we could strings the APK file. But I don't really expect there to be anything in here, but I'm desperate. So that's why I would go through these crazy links. And then, so, yep, it's that. So a lot of times what I'm noticing is a lot of things when it comes to Linux are unzippable. So your Excel file is unzippable. A doc file is unzippable. APK file is unzippable. So, like, if you have a file and it's like, what do I do? Unzip it and see what happens. Like this XML file, I'm pretty sure it's unzippable as well. So let's say unzip Android manifest. And it's probably gonna unzip for me. Oh, maybe not. I thought it would. Maybe XML is not. But a lot of things are unzippable. Definitely try. So I don't know what just got made. So what I could do is ls tag LATR, and that is going to put my newest and my oldest. My oldest here, obviously, and then my newest here. And then yeah. So CD. And then you have all of the things, right? I don't know where I was going with this lesson here. I don't know. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. ADB. I don't think ADB is installed. What was that other thing? Box. Yes. Switch in. I don't know if it's gonna do right with box. It's not. Yep, it's not. So Ambox, essentially you can, let me see if I have it in one of my VMs. I don't. Or maybe, wait a minute. Or maybe I didn't do that right. It doesn't look like I do. Should I add? Let's go back into here. Don't worry, you're not gonna see any pornography or anything like that. Like, I ain't tripping. Oh, let's see. Was it this? I think it was. Because I was gonna make it a health stack. No, this can't be it. Target win, Cali parent. Maybe it's this. No. Maybe it's this. Yeah, I'm not very organized. I probably should be more organized, but I'm not. I don't know. I don't know where that is, but I have a box that has all of the developer tools I need to analyze the APK, and I cannot find it for the life of me right now. Let's go to downloads. Not in there either. Let's try users. Which user am I? Oh, probably public. Nope, not public. Maybe user. Yeah, I don't have it. So scratch that. But essentially what I was going to do is I was going to, we could do something like this. So let's try APK disassembler. There's one online, so website. This must be it then. No, it's not. There's one online. Okay, so this must be it. So this is another thing that I would do, and I've already done it, and I already know that there's no spoilers here, but I would decompile the APK, and then once whether it did or it didn't decompile, I would actually run the program, and I apologize for not being able to run the program, or maybe I might pause the video and try to actually locate the I might actually try to locate the box that I was using to open it up so you can see it. But yeah, there's really no way to, I don't know any kind of established methodologies to go after APK files. Maybe IPsec has something. And as you see, when you type in APK, you don't get anything. Google tells us where SSH, but now, yeah, so there's nothing there. So it's if IPsec hasn't done it, that tells me that nobody has done it, like as far as hack the box goes. If we went into this, see, like there's no like thing that says, hey, look at me. And I'm not about to just go through everything and just like look at everything, because there's going to be a mess. What is this? APK tool online. You can see what that is. How did I freeze up from a web app, man? I'm not getting that part. Let's wait. Okay, there it is. No, still not. I'm going to pause the video until we get back online. All right, so we're back, and there's graphics, there's app. Maybe that's interesting. And then we see that, like, what's the point? Like, why would you want to look at anything in here, right? There's nothing in here. There should be nothing in here. I mean, I'm going to look anyway, do my due diligence, but I'm reviewing code. And then with this being an easy box, I'm like, already got my guard up. Like, why would, in an easy box, why would you have to do all of this? So yeah, nothing there. And so just to give some context around this box, we are supposed to be, so the SSH requires a public key, meaning that we need to get some kind of code execution where we can insert our public key into the server's authorized keys. So I don't know if that's a spoiler or if that's too much, but again, I don't know the exploit, so it's like do what you will with that information. Maybe that's my suspected. That's what I get from enumerating the box. That I think, and that's just what it is. So here it says there's an HTTP 3 connection. Is that that's what I saw? And so if you Google HTTP 3, it's not really a lot here. Maybe that is the way we need to go, but let's see. I know for a fact that the application itself doesn't send any requests. So I am not worried about spoiling this box or anything like that. I'm actually counting this as part of my minutes for my try harder, data. So let's try looking for that. Are we in that? Let's try this first. Why is that weird like that? We'll open that in Vim and see what it is. Wow, that is ugly. Method not decompiled. So yeah. I don't know what the person is supposed to get from that. These are some of the things that I would do. And again, I'm not. Eventually I'll become unstuck. But right now I am stuck. I don't want to keep opening up in Vim. Because I don't think that's very video friendly. Let's try mousepad. Mouse on the track. Did I make him bounce a neck? Whoa. So Java Authenticator. More stuff. Yeah, nothing. Nothing that I can see. Maybe you can see something that I can't. But I don't see anything. Hopefully this gives you some ideas. And then this is an easy box for a guy that has OSCP and GXPN. Easy boxes on Hack the Box are extremely humbling. Like they will humble you, So don't even try to rely on your cleverness or think that you're good, because you will be humbled, even by easy boxes, So I can only imagine. I think in my head, it's probably better to just not go for easy box because you're going to struggle anyway. Just go for a hard box. Just go for it. And, yeah. I would say if you're going to, don't be me. Like if you're going to bump your head up against a box all week, at least make it for like 50 points or 40 points. Like, I don't know how, I think the points for this is like 10 points or something. Like, and it's taking me through all of this. It's like it's definitely not really worth it in the long run of things. Mousepad again. This is the request body, I guess. And then again, so I was thinking maybe something is hard coded in here, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to hard code anything into the app. It just doesn't. It makes more sense to just, use these to. I don't know why this keeps doing that. use these to pass arguments and things like that, so your code is scalable and secure. So yeah, as I look through this, it's because I absolutely have run smack out of my ideas. So this is cookie stuff. I don't even know I'm looking in cookies because there's no authentication that I see going on. I think, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I'm really wasting my time with this. Credentials looks interesting. So look at credentials. Maybe I probably should just forget it. Just look at them. Compile from credentials KT. What is it compiling though? I don't know. Yep, I don't know. I don't see anything relevant. Maybe you do. I don't. And then we'll keep going. I think I froze up again. Wow. It just doesn't like when I record. Even though I got plenty of resources, it just doesn't like when I record. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'll end the video here. Maybe it comes back. So I'll end the video here at 41 minutes. Basically, what I'm trying to say with this video is when you get stuck, stay stuck, but active. So, you know, if you have, let's say you're riding down a muddy road and you get stuck in the mud, one of your wheels gets stuck in the mud. Instead of like calling somebody to pull you out, keep your foot on the gas and keep digging the hole deeper. Keep doing it. And eventually remove yourself from that hole with your wheels. And if it gets too much, put a brick on the accelerator and get out and push. And get mud all in your face and all of that. That's how this try harder thing works. Don't call the tow truck. Don't call your wife to come get you, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever. Get out of the mud yourself. And if you're still there and you're still stuck in the mud and it's been days, starve to death before you call anybody to get you out of that hole. You should starve to death. You should what's the word that I'm looking for? You should go you should dehydrate yourself. Like you should do everything you can to wrap your whole entire existence out of getting out of the mud. And when you can do that, I think you could become a successful hacker, successful pen tester, successful anything in this, because you're willing to go the extra mile, extra 10 miles to do it. I still haven't unfrozen here. I thought I would unfreeze as I was talking, and I have not. So I'm going to probably restart this instance of Kali. And as far as you, I will end this video. Now, I'm going to stick my videos that I make. I'm going to stick to the OSCP path to get everyone OSCP qualified. I wouldn't recommend doing this box for OSCP because this does not look like anything that you'd see on there at all. Even though this is easy, quote unquote, this is not OSCP level by no means. So yeah, we won't. The only thing you probably should take from this, the two things are try harder and then the enumeration stuff. Like definitely enumerate till you drop, because you enumerate and then you research what you enumerated. You find some weird variable and value, you research what it means, and then you can get some detailed notes on that. Let me see if I can pull up really quick. Yep. So this is my write-up that I'm doing for this box. Again, no spoilers because I haven't gotten anywhere. Supposed to be easy. You see that? Easy. I'm getting 20 points. I could be getting 50 points off an insane box. But I'm getting 20 points off of an insane box, even though it's called easy. To me, this should be insane. Whatever. Call it easy all you want. Call it in. I guess we could just call things anything. Like, it's fine. Anyway, these are the lessons learned from this box. APK files can be unzipped. This means CDN used, and then so forth. Put all my lessons learned there so that I don't leave this box not having gained anything. And then if you notice here, this is when I found out that you need a public key to access SSH. So yeah, you see that more and more when it comes to Hack the Box. It is what it is. And then this is my curl, and then I did kind of like extra stuff here, and then I just gave myself little markers there. When I do a write-up, I'm not going to just do a write-up on how to get privilege escalation and in the foothold. I'm going to also document all my struggles and all of the things that I learned. So I think my write-ups, what I want to bring to the game is I want my write-ups to be more comprehensive, even to the point where, okay, maybe you went down a rabbit hole and you didn't learn anything. Well, I take that back. You went down a rabbit hole and you didn't get anywhere, but you learned a lot because you learned what these weird things mean. Like, I had seen X powered by before, but I didn't really think about what it meant. And it's generally accepted as the scripting language, even though they put, do I have it here? X powered by router space. Like, what is that? Well, it turns out that you can just put anything you want in there. And so that's why I do believe that they're using a reverse proxy, even though they haven't asked for a domain name yet. And typically you have a subdomain, my bad. I call them domain names. A subdomain yet. So even though I would think that it's routerspace.http, there's no requirement to use that yet. I have not seen that requirement yet. And so one thing that I probably missed when I was explaining reverse proxies is a reverse proxy isn't that useful if you're using IPs to access the things beyond the reverse proxy. Does that make sense? So if I'm from the internet and I use an IP to an IP address, let me say IP address. Let me not say IP because that may mean something different. If I use an IP address to access the things like this certain website, it doesn't make any sense at that point from a reverse, like to use a reverse proxy because the IP address isn't protected. Does that make sense? So that reverse proxy can protect public users from knowing that public IP by forwarding, like having a record of subdomain to, it probably messing up the terminology here, but from subdomain to IP, it has a record of that. And so it could just say, oh, well, you go here, right? So that's why a lot of times on Hack the Box, when you try to scan or when you try to go to a certain site, you'll see it works, or you see these default pages because they're using a reverse proxy. And you probably heard the term virtual host routing before. Well, that's what it is. It's just basically another form of domain name resolution that protects the web server. And then moreover, once you do that, now you can actually close port 80 on the actual web server to everyone except the web proxy of the reverse proxy, right? So that's further protection to that web server. So it in the whole grand scheme of things, it's just extra layers of protection. And this is super important, especially if you're a SOC analyst or you're someone that is in cybersecurity, and you probably looked at something and you said, like, why is it this IP? This IP doesn't match the real IP. Well, that's the reason from your standpoint. But from the public standpoint, we don't know, right? Yep. So yeah, you can what you could do is, I wouldn't recommend this, but what you could do is you can keep SSH open on your web server, and only with SSH open to the public. So that way, if you needed to do whatever from home, you can SSH into that web server from anywhere, and then fix whatever you need to fix. Just make sure you have a secure password. Preferably use this method where you do the whole public key thing. That way nobody can brute force your password. And then you have a secure way of accessing that internal resource. Right? So yeah. If you didn't understand anything or whatever, just Google it. You're gonna find it, read it, understand it, soak it up. Because if you work in this field, your boss is gonna need explanations like that. They're gonna need people that can break down the concepts like that. And I think your subordinates, like the people under you, are gonna need that as well. Just not only having the understanding, but they need the confidence that you have the answers or that you can find the answers. So if they ask you what a web or a reverse proxy is, you can't give them a decent answer. If you can't give them a comprehensive answer as to why you would use that, like a lot of they're not gonna really all of that trust and that respect is going to leave you and go to someone else. These are things that this field and how you protect assets and how you protect databases, it's only growing and it's growing fast. So if you can't keep up and you're speaking in early 2000s language where things were just the wild, wild west or whatever the case, it's you can't keep up and you can't really be of value to your organization. And so I'm talking all of this, but it really just, at the end of the day, it just goes back to try harder, where if you are not stuck in the mud and using the very most basic primitive ways to get out of the mud, metaphorically speaking, then you're losing. The goal isn't to get unstuck out of the mud as soon as possible. The goal is to get as many lessons learned and get as many minutes as possible going towards your goal, quality minutes though, so that you have something that you can use for the next box or for the next pen testing engagement or for the next problem that you'll have. Because I swear to you, let's say you're a pen tester, right? But I don't know, maybe your water heater breaks or your air conditioning breaks or your car breaks, it's one thing to just say, oh, I'll just go and let somebody fix it. And that's cool. We're all busy, right? But if you have the fortitude, if you have the manhood to say, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to try harder while I fix it. And then once you go through those sleepless nights trying to fix it, trying to see what's wrong, and then you finally fix it. That's a breath of fresh air. That's confidence from your lady to you. That's confidence in yourself that you can learn things. And that keeps you young, because we lose it as we get older. With me being 35, when I was 18 or 19, I probably could have figured this box out a lot quicker. Unfortunately, I wasn't doing this type of stuff when I was that young. I wish I was, because I probably would be IPSEC level or some shit. But I'm not tripping. I'm just letting you know that I have goals to be at least that great, in that I can knock over as many boxes at a time. I can get first bloods. And I think once my thinking is on that level, I can begin to release articles that the public would read, that the public would respect. And then I could ultimately have a good effect on the world when it comes to security. Right now, I'm not there. I'm just little OSCP and GXPN. And I'm just trying to keep up with the new technology. And I think I'm ranting. I was supposed to be off 10 minutes ago, but this is why I like Hack the Box over TryHackMe. This is the number one reason why I prefer Hack the Box over TryHackMe. Hack the Box stays up to date with the latest. They do. They stay up to date with the latest, and there's no easy ways out. There's no hints or whatever. I mean, of course, you can Google and get, spoilers all day long, and people that release, active boxers trying to like get their website traffic up, which is fine. Like, do your thing, player. But for me, it's not about what happened here. Okay, so I guess my Cali came back. I don't know what's going on here, but it's not about the points. The points are an internal thing. They're internal to me. Like, they're special to me. If you know, it's fun to brag and say, I got these many points, or I first blooded or whatever. Like, that's fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it should be competitive like that. But I think in the grand scheme of things, that has to be a personal mission for you to get to the top of Hack the Box, or get the most points, or be ranked as high as possible. Because, when you're on a box and it's 4 a.m. and it's an easy box and you've been on it 2 weeks, that rank is not going to motivate you to keep going. It's not. The rank is not going to motivate you. Your friends and the admiration is not going to motivate you. Money's not going to motivate you. The only thing that's going to motivate you is the will to be a better person, to be a stronger person with more willpower, with more of a hunger to be better. That's the only thing that's going to help you at that point. And so if you are looking for the easy way out, if you're looking for hints, if you're looking for old machines with, easy, easy remote code execution from a public standpoint, things like that, SQL with or 1 equals 1. Like, if you're looking for that low hanging fruit, and then getting admin, and then doing sudo tag L to get root instantly, or whatever the people do. Like, if you're looking for it at that level, it's good training and it's good to know that stuff, but you'll never be a technician that's relied on, because you're not pushing yourself every single day. You're not hating yourself. I tell you, Hack the Box makes you hate yourself. It does, but it's for a good reason. Like, you hate yourself, but that's just delayed gratification at the end of the day. You hate yourself for not getting that box, and you're not getting where you want to get, and then boom, you get it, and then it's like a boomerang, or it's like a trampoline. You have to go down to go up higher. You know what I'm saying? So if you got on a trampoline, you just jumped a little bit or put a little bit of pressure on it, like, you're not gonna jump anywhere. But like, if you went down, like way down, like put some real gravity, like speed toward the bottom, you're gonna go up higher. And so it's like a rubber band effect. Like, I know 4 a.m. when I'm feeling the lowest of the low, I'm feeling like I'm in hell. I'm feeling like nothing could be worse. I feel like smashing my computer and going on a fucking rampage. When I know that I feel like that, I know that I am on, like, the rubber band is being stretched back. And as that rubber band is being stretched back more and more and more and more and more, when I can finally release that rubber band, when I finally get the box, I'm going to pop so far forward that it's just going to be, like, glorious. And I think that describes, if nothing else describes, try harder. That should, because that's beautiful. So I'm out of time. Please like and subscribe. Please, not just me, like and subscribe to the community. So you have IPSEC, you have John Hammond, you have a few guys. Subscribe to one of the guys I know, Cole Van Landingham, has a bunch of neat tutorials on installing Security Onion, WinLog Beats, and then experimenting with C2s as well. So subscribe to him. And anyone that's just doing things like that. There's another framework that I want to, that's called the Greater Wall. And this is a PowerShell framework, and it basically centers on anomaly detection, but it's being expanded at a rapid pace to where it's about to be so scalable that it's crazy. And if you Google that and look at some of the status that's being done on that, what you'll notice is, while some of the things have already been addressed as far as the Greater Wall goes in tools, The greater wall is purely PowerShell, meaning that you can install it on a network without introducing any like new new software. And we all know that new software comes with, oh, does it have a buffer overflow? Does it have a CP? My bad. Does it have a CVE and things like that? So unless it's approved, you don't really want to introduce new software to your network. No problem. The greater wall is purely PowerShell, right? So it's like, it's stuff like that. It's stuff like that I would recommend, right? That would be an easy win for you. No pun intended. Not talking about the posh easy win. I'm talking about the greater wall. So again, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Thank you.